You're down on exchange. What do you do here? What does white want to do? White might want to activate his rook. White put his only rook on the only open file, and he might want to enter either f7 or f8 square to maximize his rook. So here, these two squares are quite important for black's defensive chances. If a rook somehow gets to f7 or f8, it's going to be a bit shaky for him. How do you limit this rook? Well, by playing bishop f6. With the bishop being protected by a pawn, it's like a bishop on f6 is a big pawn, so f-file is practically closed. And it's not easy for white to find any breakthrough because the queen has to defend the long diagonal, since the queen is always there to give some annoying checks. Let me show you what happens if you don't block the f-file. If you play bishop g5, for example, or even something like e4 with ambitions to promote your pawn. Push e3, bishop f2, and then white will be in big trouble. But as we spoke before, f8 is available to white's rook, and after king h7, now it's not enough to have a rook on f8 by itself. Now you have to bring the queen into play, and you're doing it by queen g4. Attack the bishop and also cover d1 square. You don't mind if black gives this check because of king g2, and now you can go queen f5 check and force decisive weakening by forcing black to play g6. For example, if the bishop moves back to g5 or let's say queen e1, it doesn't matter. You give a check, and on g6 there's going to be this with a mate. What else can you play after this? Queen g4. Well, if you try bishop f6, I still give a check, take a bishop in the end. So things are not going well for black. For example, here, if bishop g5 is played instead of e4, first move. Once again, check here, and now it's important from which square do you threaten to give a check. You don't go here, because now d1 is available to black's queen, and if rook goes back, you just take on c2 and you cover from any checks, and black is pretty safe. He has several extra pawns here. It's quite important to choose the right spot from which the queen is threatening this. So you do it by covering d1 square, and you do it by playing queen f3. You cover from queen d1 check. You can allow this check because after king g2 there are no more follow-up checks. So what can black do? White wants to go queen f5. If you do something like e4, then there's this check, and on g6 you can give this check. If king h8, there's going to be this mate. What does black do? If black tries to disconnect queen and rook, and also queen from f5, now c3 is a good move. Queen defends these two squares, e4 and d3. So by attacking the queen, white is actually forcing the queen trade. If you move it here, then queen e4 again, and this mate. By c3, black is forced to go queen e3, but now there's a different issue. Bishop is not defending the pawns, and now black can just go rook d8, attack the d6 pawn, and now black has no time to react. He's losing d6, black is completely lost. To make a conclusion, bishop f6 was among the moves that defended black's position pretty well. Now the rook is not so active as before, and black's king is not in that much danger because there's potentially only one attacking piece, and black's king is not in such a big danger because there's only one attacking piece, and that's a queen. But the queen can only give checks. It cannot really do much more than that. Bishop g5 allowed two attacking pieces in white's position, allowed white to get his rook into play, and then also the queen. Queen came to f5, and queen threatened to come to f5, and white forced the queen trade after that, which was very beneficial to white. Thank you for watching, and bye.